Reframing for strategic creativity. The reflective practitioner can take different perspectives on their role, and in the discussion around reflective practice, we talk about these as epistemic stances. An epistemic stance is essentially a way of knowing how we come to know particular facts, how we come to understand our application of particular skills that we're employing in the classroom. And an epistemic stance recognizes that the process we're engaging with are developmental, and because the processes are developmental, the thing about epistemic stances is that they will always be changing. As we become more experienced, as we become more mature as teachers, as reflective practitioners, our beliefs change, our epistemic stance changes in relation to those experiences. And we can categorize epistemic stances into 4 key areas. The first area is absolute knowing. 2 other areas are transitional knowing and independent knowing. And the 4th area is contextual knowing. So there are 4 different stances that we can take in terms of the reflective role. Absolute knowing is the easiest one to understand. This, for the reflective practitioner, is acquiring facts, knowledge from others that we work with. It's simply a transfer of knowledge and experience. The second and the third phases, transitional knowing and independent knowing, are intermediate stages. They move the reflective practitioner from absolute knowing to contextual knowing. Transitional and independent knowing are simply part-way phases that the reflective practitioner is working with, beginning to take facts and figures from others and internalize understanding and begin to own particular skills, knowledge in relation to their own roles in the classroom. And contextual knowing is where the knowledge and the skills that we have, we are applying, we are understanding them from different contextual viewpoints, because they will be different from different contextual viewpoints. And contextual knowing, therefore, is perhaps the most advanced epistemic stance that we can take. Contextual knowing for a reflective practitioner is highly critical and is always pursuing information, investigating understanding, and looking to gather more facts and figures for ourselves in order to build our conceptual frames. And we can look at these different ways of knowing in a table. Absolute knowing is perhaps the foundation level. That doesn't mean that it's not important. Acquiring information from others is a very significant and important foundation part of reflective practice. Transitional knowing is where we're starting to build our understanding and starting to develop our concepts. And the way that we approach these as reflective practitioners is both impersonal process and an interpersonal process. Impersonally, the teacher is transferring, exchanging ideas, and an interpersonal process is where teachers are collecting ideas from others and exposing their own thinking to others. Independent knowing is more advanced than traditional knowing, but still, in terms of the processes involved, is a solitary and a collaborative process. It is both individual and inter-individual. But these processes lead the reflective practitioner to contextual knowing. This is where real quality contributions to our roles as teachers in the classroom begin to manifest themselves, where teacher exchanges and perspectives are exchanged and used productively by the reflective practitioner. And so epistemic stances are really about not only ways of knowing, but how we approach acquiring the information in order to know. And therefore it requires quite sophisticated types of reflection in order to move from absolute knowing through to contextual knowing. And absolute knowers will find and accept information from authority without question. Somebody who is at a more advanced level of knowing, contextual knowing, is somebody who is much more empowered by their knowledge, and that empowerment is reflected in the quality of their teaching.